You guys seem to like part 1 of this interesting list, and there are many other actors who could easily become the new Flash. With that being said, I'm Adam Andrews from Top 10 Nerd, and this is part 2 of the top 10 actors who should replace Ezra Miller as the Flash. Number 10. Jack Gleeson. Longtime and consistent Top 10 Nerd commenter Rodney Lindsay made this interesting suggestion in the comments of part 1, and I thought, you know what? Maybe, actually. Now most of us are going to remember Jack Gleeson as Joffrey Baratheon, or Lannister depending who you ask, in HBO's Game of Thrones series. His character was horribly unlikable, which he was supposed to be, with Jack himself actually being probably the nicest and most humble person I think I have ever seen. Last I heard, he has stopped acting since his time on Game of Thrones, but as a wildcard fan casting, I think he would make a very good younger Barry Allen. Thanks again, Rodney, for that suggestion. I know you're watching. Number 9. John Wesley Shipp. While talking about Grant Gustin in part 1, I think we were all slightly reminded that John Wesley Shipp did actually play the Flash in the 1990s Flash TV show, and did an excellent job. So much so that he actually showed up reprising his character in the Grant Gustin show. Now, I'm not saying he could jump into the role where Ezra left it, but to show up as Flash at all would just be really nice. Since the Flash movie is dealing with Flashpoint type things, then it is entirely possible and would be a lovely bit of fan service for this fantastic Flash to show his face. Number 8. Rick Cosnett. And while we're talking about actors from the Flash TV shows, why not at least mention Rick Cosnett? In the Flash TV show, Rick here played Detective Eddie Thawne, and looking at him in the show, I was honestly sitting there going, he looks like he could play the Flash. And I think he could. I say that with no shade thrown at Grant Gustin. I just look at Rick, and then I look at a picture of comic book Barry Allen, and you can't tell me you don't see it too. Number 7. Garret Hedlund. Hedlund's version of Barry Allen would definitely be a seasoned one, but as such would be one that stands equally with Aquaman, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in the Justice League. He's an on-the-rise actor who's proven himself capable in both comedic and dramatic fare. He's handsome as hell, and he can actually run like normally, unlike somebody else. You can argue that he doesn't much resemble Miller, like a lot of actors on this list, but honestly, that can be easily solved by the reality warping potential of the Flashpoint timeline. Also, his natural blonde hair and 6'1" frame ideally resemble the comic version much better. Hedlund's a versatile actor. He was really great in Tron, in my opinion, but has done some much better roles to prove he is a great actor since. Just don't look at that weird Peter Pan movie. I think he could kill it as Flash. Number 6. Andrew Garfield. A lot of people have suggested Tom Holland as Barry Allen the Flash, or even as Wally West. And I mean, sure, I guess, but if we're talking about actors who have played Spider-Man, I don't think we should look over none other than Andrew Garfield. Obviously, this actor has had a run as a superhero before, and one that was not bad at all. Sure, the movies themselves could have been a bit better, but his performance as the Webhead was fantastic. We have seen Andrew as much more serious characters as well, which does make me think he could kind of find a happy medium between the two as Barry Allen. He has also got the star power to stand in an ensemble cast, so there's that. Number 5. Sam Claflin. A lot of castings I have seen for Barry have been younger guys. And while yes, that obviously makes sense, I think maybe having a slightly older, more mature version of Barry might offer something up that we haven't seen before. The other actors involved in the DCEU movies all have a bit of a rough maturity to them, at least in my opinion. And while the Flash seems to be a bit more of the comedy to the team, I don't think he should not be taken as seriously as well. His jokes have always been a bit more dad energy in my opinion anyways. The British actor Sam Claflin has been around for a while, in big franchises like The Hunger Games and Pirates of the Caribbean, but he's only 35 at the time of this video being made, giving him both big franchise experience, but not at the cost of being too old. He's also blonde, is slim but built, has a great jawline, and isn't overly serious all the time. I think he would make an interesting casting as Barry Allen. Number 4. Scott Speedman. While we're talking older actors, this guy's name is literally Speedman. While he may be a little bit too old now to play Barry Allen, Allen, in an ideal world where we could use the Speed Force to go back in time, younger Scott Speedman would make an excellent Barry Allen in my opinion. And if Warner Bros. Was feeling bold and maybe wanted to introduce Wally West, Speedman could be a mentoring Barry to whoever played Wally. He is a great actor who can no doubt pull off the serious, forensic scientist side of Barry Allen. And as proven in his action roles in the Underworld movies, he can hit the superpowered qualities of a hero like Flash himself. It's not likely to actually happen, but I have always enjoyed this actor and I think he could play a very convincing Barry Allen. Number 3. Jack Quaid. I saw this somewhere and it's another one of those suggestions that I would never thought of, but upon further consideration I'm like, wait a minute. The Boys star is actually consistently on the rise right now. After his fantastic breakout on that show, he has now been in the new Scream movie. If you have seen him in The Boys, you know that this guy can actually hold it down acting wise, which should be no surprise given his parents are Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. As for playing Barry, I think he would be a kind of an oddball version of the character. But I mean, they had Ezra Miller playing the character in basically the same way, and he was also completely nuts in real life too, so I feel like having someone who is actually sane in real life take on the role might be a bit better. Number 2. Logan Lerman. If Warner Bros. Is considering Dylan O'Brien, then I think it's fair for them to consider Logan Lerman as well. I honestly get these two confused all of the time. Now, he does have a bit of a different vibe compared to O'Brien, but he is arguably more accomplished than O'Brien with roles in Percy Jackson, Fury, Perks of Being a Wallflower alongside Mr. Miller, 3:10 to Yuma, and even as far back as The Patriot. If you have seen him in the Amazon Prime show Hunters alongside Al Pacino, plus all of his other movie titles, then I think you'll have to agree that he has the acting chops, star power, physicality, seriousness, and wit to step into the role of Ezra Miller's Barry Allen. But I'd love to hear other people's opinions on this one, because I'm not too sure. And number 1, Lucas Till. Shout out to commenter Gilbert Millers, who decided to let us all know, literally 50 times in the comments of part 1, that quote unquote, the actor hashtag Lucas Till, he's literally the perfect casting for the role of hashtag Barry Allen / hashtag The Flash in hashtag dceu hashtag recast The Flash. Okay, yes, let's talk about Lucas Till. In all seriousness, I actually do really agree with you. I think he would make an excellent Flash. I literally see no reason not to cast him. He looks like the comics Barry Allen. He is young enough, he has been a superhero before, people know who he is, and most importantly, I don't believe he's a criminal. Hey nerds! Shout out to those of you who actually agreed I could play the Flash. Maybe if I had the Speed Force, I could make that actually happen, but for now, who else do you think could step into the role of Barry Allen? Don't forget to like and subscribe here at Top 10 Nerd. I've been your host, Adam Andrews, and until next time, peace out, nerds.